I'm Marty LaBarbera, President and owner of Brite Sales Company. And we're here today to talk about a process that I know you're all excited to hear a lot about, which is stripping floors. Now, when it comes to stripping floors, I'm interested in one thing, and that's getting it done as fast as possible and getting every bit of the wax off the floor. Our company's been around now for 61 years, so we have stripped an awful lot of floors, and I've lost count of how many I've stripped and laid wax on. So today we want to talk about how to properly strip a floor so that you get all of the wax off, which is totally necessary so that when you put floor finish back on, it looks right and has the wet gloss that you want. So the product that I'm going to use today to do the floor stripping is called Vanish. And this is the Vanish right here. I choose this product for one reason. It's a no-rinse stripper, but it's an intensive speed stripper. So it's going to let me get the job done as fast as possible. Now this product needs to be mixed 4-to-1, which means for every 4 gallons, I put 1 gallon of stripper in. And keep in mind that every in-use gallon of stripper allows you to strip 100 square feet. So 1 gallon mixed properly will allow me to strip up 500 square feet of floor. So the first thing I want to do is measure out my stripper. And I have a measuring cup to do that with, and I have a pail with 2 gallons of water in it. Now, before I mix the stripper and get it on the floor, I want to remind you that you need to get you some black pantyhose-like things to put over your shoes, like I've got, so you don't slip and fall when you're working with the stripper. And you can get these at Walmart or any store where they sell women's stockings. So this is a cheap, inexpensive way to keep from slipping on the floor. Okay, the stripper is mixed 1-to-4. I have 2 gallons of water in here, which means I want a half a gallon of stripper. So this is a 20-ounce cup. I'll basically fill this thing 3 times and add it to the water. And this is cold water, by the way. Lukewarm is the hottest you would want the water to be. Some people like to strip with hot water, but with these no-rinse strippers that are heavy with solvent, that is not conducive because a lot of the solvent will flash off with the hot water. So the stripper is not as effective if you do that. I think that should be about right. Okay, so what I want to do first is the edge work. A lot of rooms that have floor finish on them will have a lot of wax buildup around the edge. I've encountered floors where I've had almost 30 coats of wax at the edge, so it would take forever to get that stuff off. So what we want to do first is I'm going to lay stripper around the edge. I'm going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. Then I'll show you the tool I'm going to use to go after that before I strip out the rest of the floor. Okay, so now we're going to lay the stripper. I've got in here the nastiest old mop head I could find, because you don't need to use a new mop head to lay stripper. And I'm just going to lay it around the edges. I dipped it in the bucket, I let it drip a little bit, and then I just slop it down and I paint the edge of the room with this solution. Now the key to this thing is give it enough time to sit so the stripper can work for you. If there is a lot of wax on the floor or floor finish, what you're going to notice is your stripper will sort of seem to separate or have a fish scale look to it. If it does, you want to go back over that again, because what's happening is it's emulsifying the floor finish that's in a solid state. Okay. So I would give this about 5 minutes to sit, and then I'm going to take this tool, which is like a swivel brush. This is a Nyla Grit swivel-headed brush. So the bristles are aggressive, which is good for doing edge work. Now, some people use razor scrapers. Some will use the center of a black floor pad, and they'll go along the edge where the edge work is being done. Or they will put the black floor pad down, put their foot on top of it, and do it like that. Scrub it that way. This is a little bit easier to use it this way. And then after the edge work is done, then what I'm going to do next is then lay the stripper solution out over the entire floor. What I'm looking to see is if the tile, if it's a white tile, that I'm seeing the white and I'm seeing all the wax or the floor finish coming right up. Now, we've done the edge work, is to lay our floor stripper. The mistake most people make in putting floor stripper down is they put it down too thin. A lot of people like to dip their mop into their bucket of stripper, put it in a wringer, and then wring their mop out and coat the floor. That's not near enough. What you need to do is flood mop the floor like this. Slop it down, because one good heavy coat of stripper will emulsify 6 coats of wax. So I want to be sure I've got a pretty good heavy coat on the floor. And being Vanish, it has a very nice solvent fragrance to it. Okay, and now we want to let this sit for 8 to 10 minutes. If you'll do that, it gives the stripper plenty of time to emulsify the wax or floor finish, which is solid, and take it to a liquid state. Now I want to scrub the floor. I have a choice of a black strip pad or a high performance strip pad. This works a little bit better than this one. This holds a lot more wax before it becomes smooth, which is a problem when using pads. My personal choice is a stripping brush. Now this baby right here will run you typically on a 20-inch size somewhere around, I don't know, $300, $350. So why buy this? 2 big reasons. This thing will outlast 200 cases of black strip pads. Plus, it gets your edge work a lot better. It gets right up to the wall, so your edge work becomes a lot easier. Plus, this will go into an uneven floor much better than a pad will, so you'll get the low spots with something like this. So this is what I'm going to scrub the floor with. Okay, we're going to start scrubbing. I want to overlap each pass with the machine, but I also want to start where I'm stepping off the mat onto the stripper solution, because where I scrub with the brush will not be slippery. Because I don't want you falling down. Okay, so what I'm noticing as I do this, I'm seeing the solid wax and kind of little clumpy things, which is good. Which tells me I'm cutting everything off the floor. Now they make stripper skirts that you can put around the machine so the solution doesn't throw off. I don't happen to have one of those. Now a lot of people, when they use a machine like this, they like to grab it with 2 hands. If you pull up, it goes to the right. If you push down, it goes to the left. And when you get real good at it, you can do it with 1 hand or 2 fingers. It's not strength, but it's balance. So when I'm done scrubbing, I want to pull the machine back onto a mat or onto towels so that I don't get any of the solution that's on the wheels onto the floor that has wax that's already been done or I don't want to mess up. Okay, now we want to get the solution off the floor. There's 2 ways to do it. You can either use mops, which take forever. The easy way is to have a wet vac. Now, if you've got a shop vac, the problem with the shop vac, it has 1 single blade. You need a 2-bladed squeegee head. We actually sell this head and this pipe and hose so that it can fit on a shop vac. So your shop vac can work like my $600 commercial vac, and for $150, whatever you paid for your shop vac, this kit's like $175, $200. You can now have a machine that works as well as our commercial vac. And then when your shop vac motor burns out, just buy a new shop vac, because this thing will last forever and these blades are replaceable. But the key is the 2 blades, not the single blade that you see in shop vacs. Okay, so let me get going here. After you suck the solution off the floor with the stripper solution with the emulsified wax, you need to damp mop out your streaks or do a full rinse as quickly as possible, because you don't want that solution re-drying into the floor or you have to re-strip it again, because you've got emulsified wax. And not only that, it'll be much tougher to strip out, because the reason wax or floor finish can be stripped. It has chemical triggers in it that when a stripper hits it, it releases. Once you've done that one time, those triggers are gone. Job is finished. I've done it very rapidly using our All Brite Vanish. Also the stripping brush, which really makes a difference. This is the way we teach people to do it at All Brite Sales. Give us a call, 904-354-4687, if you're not sure about the process. We want you to do it right. We always want to do it right at All Brite.